It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. How's everybody this morning? A little blip in getting the show started there. Not sure what caused that. That's a totally different one. So anyway, we'll see what happens, but it does look like I am on the air. So anyway, welcome to the show for September the 19th, 2025, coming to you from my studio in Forest, Virginia. Brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scooter Round, and by Chillie's Cruises. The news was a little soft today. We got a few stories, no really majors, but still, enough to put a show together. And then I've got a report from yesterday, which we're going to talk about. But the headlines today, the lead story is a cruise passenger dies on a steep hiking trail. That happened up in Juneau. Also this morning, Royal Caribbean entices guests to change plans. Carnival expands on some sailings. Legend of the Seas adds 3 new cruises. Princess adds some new ports. AMA orders 8 and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Butterscotch Pudding Day. I can deal with that. I like butterscotch pudding. In this day in history, in 1778, the first federal budget is passed by the Continental Congress. Continental Congress managed to do that without stealing any of our Social Security money. I don't think another Congress since then has ever been able to do that. Don't anybody yell at me. I'm teasing somewhat. If you're a podcast person, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Or wherever you get your podcast from, just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat guy. We do this 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then the other days if something major happens. Or if I'm traveling. Okay, so speaking of traveling, let me see if I have anything else down here. I don't think I do. No. Okay. So yesterday, as many of you know, I met with Andrew. That's the good news, as you can see from the hat. Wonderful experience. I've got a little bit to show you on that one here shortly. That's the good news from yesterday. The bad news is I had a wreck coming home. It wasn't anything major. But it did some damage to my car. It did some damage to another lady's car. Had to get the cops involved. Of course, I had to deal with my insurance company this morning. Anyway, it was a pain in the butt. The one thing that I have an appointment on the 30th to take my car in. They're going to have a rental car ready for me, which is good. Except it depends on how quickly they can get it back, because I'm going to be leaving to go on my little cruise on the Carnival cruise ship. Not too distant future, and I gotta have my car back with the rack on the back so I can take my chair. So we'll see. I will talk to them and find out if that's feasible, or if that's going to take longer. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so yesterday, for the first time in about 30 some years, I was on a golf course, which was fantastic, guys. Just to be outside in it was a beautiful day, number one, and be out in the fresh air and on a golf course that I truly love, and haven't been able to do that for forever. I was just really excited about it. So that's me at the golf course. I was waiting for Andrew to get there. I actually got there a little bit early, as I usually do. And we first worked at the driving range. And see if I can explain this rather easily. Some of you, of course, saw when Andrew was on the show how this works. I'm the golfer. Now, I can't, obviously I can't stand up and swing a club. I obviously can't roll my wheelchair up on a green. On some fairways even. But most likely I can on fairways. Andrew is serving as my caddy. He does nothing to affect any shots. I have to tell him, instruct him explicitly what to do and how to do it, and he carries it out, and that gives the shot. Now, this is the swingless driver, which is actually, it operates on gunpowder. It's almost like a gun firing. But first you figure out the yardage that you want to hit the shots. So it's a drive, I think it goes up to 225 yards. So you set the 225 yards as the distance. Then I have to line him up by saying, you need to go a little to the left, you need to go a little to the right, but I have to line him up to my target. Now, he is currently in a neutral position, which means the ball will go straight where it's aimed at. Okay. If I want to fade the shot, he raises his hands a little bit. The amount of the fade is how much he raises his hands. If I want to hook the ball, he lowers his hands. So I can control all those kinds of shots. If it's windy and you hit a stinger, a low shot that stays under the wind, you rotate the head forward just a scunch. And then when it's set, he's ready to go, I say, hit it or whatever. And he fires it and the ball takes off and goes. And then if you're on a golf course plan as opposed to being on a range, you get in your cart and you ride up to the ball. And then you have an iron shot to the green. Let's say if it was, a normal par 4 hole. Now the iron shots, and unfortunately I don't have a picture of this. I took several of it, but they didn't come through. So I'll have to get that for you. But it's a slingshot-like gizmo that he puts the ball in. What did I do with it? I had my little chart to show you. I'm not sure what I did with it because I was working on cleaning my desk up. I must have put that anyway. So I'll have to show that another time. But it's like a slingshot thing. And there's a chart that says if you want it to go so many yards, you're at such an angle, which is the angle that you hold the ball up in the air from the slingshot. And the distance is controlled by how far back you pull. You might pull back to the elbow to go 100. I don't remember this right off the top of my head. I haven't memorized the chart yet, but let's say you pull back to the elbow to go 100 yards. You pull back to your chest to go 150 yards. You pull back all the way across to go 175, whatever it is. The yardage. And that, again, I'll line him up just like I did before. when I feel that he's at the right angle and the right distance pull back, and he tells me that he's ready, I tell him to fire, and he lets go of the ball, and the ball shoots up like just like I'd hit it. It's really amazing at the technology that goes to allow someone that's disabled to play golf. You're at least playing mentally, but you're also playing to exactly to the rules of golf, which was the amazing thing. And then you go over to the green to chip and putt. Okay. Now that's a little different set of circumstances. And let's see, I've got a little video clip from the green, because you use a pendulum type thing. And again, it has a gauge. I figure out the length of putts. The gauge, Andrew then takes the head back to a certain distance. And when he lets it go, it's going to go the distance that's on the putter chart. Okay, so the first one I did was a 20-foot putt. And it took me the third time till I got it inside 2 feet. So it was a tap in. Then we moved up to a 40-foot putt. And this one was about a 60 or 65-foot putt. A long putt. All right, Andrew's going to set up a 60-foot putt.
All right, so we like the line?
Yeah, we're going to keep the same line we had when we did it a moment ago.
Okay.
And what did I say? 100 and...
So the last one was
107 degrees, so maybe go 109 degrees.
Here we go. That is 109.
Far away.
It's awfully close.
Not a bad putt.
That is a pin high, maybe 3 feet away.
That's it.
Nice shot.
In case you couldn't hear him, that was a 65-foot putt. That was the second effort at it. And I was pin high, less than 3 feet away. Not bad for just starting. I did really well putting and chipping. And I did a lot better with the iron play, was setting him up for the slingshot, than I did with the driving. I was having trouble with my alignment on the drive. Everything I was hitting, or he was hitting, obviously for me, was going right. Not terribly far right, but, a little off target. So that was something that I'd work on. Now, that putter thing is what he and I both feel is something that could be used on cruises for the putt-putt golf courses. Again, it would take somebody that's in a wheelchair or somebody that's disabled. They'd have a caddy, because you've got those things to step over and roll over on most of the golf courses. They're not real conducive to wheelchair accessibility, but you'd stay off kind of to the side. And again, tell your caddy, line your caddy up. It's how many feet it is. Let's say it's a 30-foot thingy down there that's got a hump in it. You can calculate that in as maybe an extra 5 feet or however it works out. People have used this on putt-putt golf courses. That's why I know this would work if we can get the cruise ships interested in it. Okay. But it would be something else for the disabled community to do on a cruise ship. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about getting out here in the Lynchburg area and see if I can find a course that would be willing to try this and open the course up to some wheelchair golfers and try to get some of this started here. and find, again, I'd have to develop some caddies. You know, unfortunately, we can't duplicate Andrew, and he's really good at doing this, and a good teacher. But anyway, we did a lot of wheel spinning yesterday, so it was a really, really good session. Glad I did it. Glad I went. I'm very interested in it and seeing if we can't develop something. So who knows where this might go. All right, I'll be back. Excuse me, with some news after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, the lead story today, folks, comes from our friends up in Alaska. Here's Nestor with the news.
2 male cruise guests fell from a popular hiking trail near Juneau. The 2 men had been hiking the Mount Roberts Trail above downtown. One man was rescued with minor injuries. The second man, identified as 36-year-old Britton Poole of Texas, had slid further down the mountainside. Drones and other resources were used to locate him, but he was unfortunately deceased as a result of his injuries. 4 cruise ships were visiting Juneau that day, but which ship the men were sailing on has not been confirmed. The ships were Viking Venus, Norwegian Bliss, Norwegian Encore, and Caribbean Princess. Royal Caribbean's Radiance of the Seas offered guests several lucrative deals to either cancel their overbooked sailing, transfer their booking, or give up their balcony cabins, with all options featuring refunds of the cruise fares paid. One option called for guests to instead sail aboard a slightly shorter Serenade of the Seas voyage along a similar route, which included a Panama Canal transit. The cruise line attempted to entice guests to swap their balcony cabins for ocean view or inside accommodations. You've only got 2 weeks left to get 15% off popular scooters, electric wheelchairs, walkers, and accessories. Don't miss out on one of Scootaround's biggest sales events of the year. Offer ends September 30th. Use code September15 to get 15% off site-wide. Shop online or call 1-844-664-7467. Riviera Travel UK has announced that MS George Elliot, owned by the Swiss company Skyla Cruises, will be dedicated exclusively to solo travelers beginning in June 2027, operating continual departures on the Danube, Rhine, and Moselle rivers. The decision reflects Riviera's recognition of increasing demand for solo cruises. The company currently offers over 20 solo departure voyages annually, most during the spring and fall, with all guests accommodated in private cabins and no single supplement charged. Carnival Cruise Line continued to reveal its 2027-28 deployments, announcing a major expansion of its Hawaii program from Long Beach, California. Carnival Legend will offer 10 voyages to the Hawaiian Islands between October 2027 and March 2028, along with some Mexico cruises. In Norfolk, the newer Carnival Freedom will replace Carnival Sunshine, sailing cruises to the Caribbean, Bahamas, and Bermuda. For information on these, email chillie@bookalaska.net.
All right, this is the Alaska Travel Desk deal of the day. MSC Grandiosa, sailing from Port Canaveral on December the 13th, 2025. She sails from Port Canaveral with stops in Cozumel, Georgetown and the Cayman Islands, Montego Bay and Jamaica, and then a stop back at Nassau in the Bahamas before coming back to Port Canaveral on the 20th. Prices start at $600 per person. Just give me a call at Alaska Travel Desk, 907-531-9140, or call me personally at 434-258-9264, or information or to book this lovely MSC Grandiosa cruise from Alaska Travel Desk.
Guests eager to take a legendary cruise vacation aboard the forthcoming Legend of the Seas will now have earlier opportunities than expected. Work on the vessel is ahead of schedule, and Royal Caribbean has announced that the ship will debut sooner than originally planned. The third Icon-class ship will debut 3 weeks earlier than originally scheduled. 3 new 7-night voyages have been added to the ship's inaugural season. Guests already booked on her maiden voyage have the first chance to change their travel plans. The ship's older sister, Star of the Seas, also debuted earlier than expected with preview sailings ahead of what had been expected to be her inaugural cruise. For information on these cruises, email chillie@bookalaska.net. Princess Cruises has added new ports of call to cruises on Sun Princess in the Mediterranean that set sail in 2026 and 2027. The new ports have been added to 16 7-night cruises on the ship between April 4, 2026 and October 17, 2026. The newly added ports on voyages on Sun Princess are Corsica, Genoa, Marseille, Majorca, Ibiza and Santa Margherita, Italy. To book Sun Princess cruises, email chillie@bookalaska.net. The AMA Waterways fleet is growing. The company announced that it has ordered 8 new river ships scheduled for delivery by 2030. That will bring the total fleet to more than 40 vessels, doubling the number of ships since 2020. To explore an AMA river cruise, email chillie@bookalaska.net. Have you visited Universal's mind-blowing new park, Epic Universe? This amazing theme park features 5 all-new worlds, including ones themed after Harry Potter and Super Mario. Book your scooter or wheelchair rental now to enjoy your visit hassle-free. Universal Epic Universe mobility rentals are 15% off for a limited time. Just call Scootaround at 1-888-441-7575 and use SRN 11137.
There we go. I couldn't get myself back on the stream. All right, guys, that's going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. Let's jump over and see who's in the chat room fussing at me today. Let's see. Hi, Tom's with us. There's Mike from the other side of the pond. Sonny's with us down in Mississippi. Your picture is backwards. No, it's not. Can you read my hat, Tom? It doesn't look backwards to me. Oh, yes, it does look backwards too. Come to think about it. How did that happen? Okay, that'll make Hot Air Tom happier. Oh, I know. I had a phone call just before I went on. I must have thrown it back to its other position. Thank you, Tom. I did not realize that. There's Joanne. Glad to see you're back home. Oh, no, still here in the hospital. Sorry, Joanne. Had a cardiac MRI, waiting for the results and hoping very much to go home. Well, let's hope so. Mount Roberts is dangerous. Keep Chillie off that mountain. I love Mount Roberts. I've been up there a couple times. That's one tram that I get on without even thinking about it anymore. Sonny says, Joanne, hope all goes well with your results. Another lady died on Mount Roberts this year, not too long ago. Yeah, that was a different set of circumstances, but yeah, that's the second death up there this year. There's Todd. Hi, Todd. Says good morning to everybody. Joanne says I had a cardiac cath on Monday to check the arteries. I was told I have the arteries of a 28-year-old. Well, good for you. The other body parts rate 28 years old? I'm just curious. Which is great since I have been fluffy most of my life. Yeah, Joanne, I like fluffy. I've been fluffy since the day I got out of college. That was my last thin day. There's Gretchen out in Ohio. Good morning, Gretchen. Mike says he's praying for your results too, Joanne. Everybody is. There's Bob. Wishing all to have a great weekend. Gretchen says, hope you get back home soon, feeling better too. There's Kenneth up in Pennsylvania. Hi, Kenneth. Let's see. There's Roger down in Jacksonville. Hi, Roger. Will you be passing through Jacksonville when you take the Carnival cruise? Yeah, probably. I mean, for me to get from up here to Port Canaveral, I got to go through Jacksonville. So it depends on what kind of schedule I'm on. I haven't even looked at what days it is yet, Roger. I will do that this weekend and figure out my travel schedule and show schedule in case that's going to change, and let you know. Maybe we can meet for lunch or dinner, an early dinner, maybe. If I don't know, let's see. I'll see what I can come up with. Hot Air says, buying a Tesla before the tax credit goes away September 30th. Most important, Chillie's Cruises was a chair damaged in the accident. That's scary. I don't even like driving to work anymore. No, thankfully, Tom, neither one of us were going fast enough for it to hurt anything, including us. And but cars are so damn cheap that just a little jolt and it trashes crap. Like her car, the door won't open. The driver door won't open. So, and they're going to write this off as my fault, even though it technically wasn't my fault the way things happened. But I'm the one that's in the wrong place at the wrong time. So my insurance is going to bite the bullet for all of it. Sure, my rates will go up. But no damage to the chair. Didn't hurt that. Didn't hurt anything else on the car except the underneath the headlight, that space down toward the bumper, that piece. The headlight's fine. I was able to drive home. It was no problem. That piece beyond there is kind of mangled, and that needs to be replaced or taped or something. I don't know what's how they do it. But anyway, yeah, it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt the lady. And the lady was nice, but I was trying to get across a damn big ass pickup truck. And I couldn't get him to move up so I could come around him and get in the turning lane to get off of 29 South, right outside of Warrenton, where it's 8 lanes of traffic. I just got off of 66. Okay. And I saw a McDonald's. Now, I've been out in the sun for 3 hours. I was dying of thirst. I saw a McDonald's at a red light. I was the second lane in. And if this truck had pulled up and he had a ton of room to the car in front of him, I could have easily gotten around him, got in the turn lane and gone to the light and turned in and gone into the McDonald's. So I tried to get around him, and finally he moved up enough that I could clear the pickup truck and turn into the lane. And there was another vehicle in the lane that I was going in between two vehicles to get out, and I could not see the turning lane, and this lady was zipping down the turning lane, and I pulled out, did not see her coming, and T-boned her right in the driver's door. It wasn't a hard enough hit to hurt her or to hurt me. So that's the thankful part of it. But that's what happens. So I get blamed for it, even though I don't think it was my fault, but that's accepted the blame for it. Roger says, my kids have begged me not to use my deposit on the Cybertruck. I am ineligible to receive the $7,500 tax credit. I'm income ineligible to receive the tax credit. Okay. You could get the bright pink one like I saw in Myrtle Beach back in July. Yeah, Tom says, I wish I had that problem. Yeah, I understand. No, cannot read the hat. Okay, so yeah, I fixed the screen. You were right, I was wrong. Joanne says my knees are about 90, my hip 85. Yeah, I understand that one. I understand that one big time, Joanne. I got a knee that's pushing 90. And George from X says, hey, George. So this is that's going to wrap up the show, folks, for Friday. I have to go to DMV this afternoon. It's one of the things I hate most in the world because it's always so damn slow. But anyway, I got to go to DMV and take care of some business. And then I'll be here for the weekend. Maybe I'll go over to the golf course that's over near, Thomas Jefferson's summer home and talk to those folks a little bit. Actually, Andrew's going to send me a videotape, including some tapes they made of me yesterday that we can use to promote this. So, maybe this is not the right time to go, but at least I could go scope out the golf course. Let's put it that way. All right, guys. That's going to wrap me up for today. As always, thanks for being with me. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. That helps the channel out a lot. We're having some nice growth right now. Always good to see. Again, I really enjoyed yesterday. A lot of you were impressed with Andrew. After spending an afternoon, morning and afternoon with him, I am more impressed than I was when we interviewed him. Come on, tongue. Interviewed him. Great day. And he and I are going to be doing some things in the future. I'll guarantee it. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Friday. Stay out of trouble, Hot Air Tom. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And for the rest of you, have a fabulous weekend, everybody. I'll see everybody back here Monday if I don't see you sometime this weekend. All right, this is the old fat guy. Have a great time. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. See you next time.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.